All right, let's do this. Zara. This was for Hetman, I think. Come back over here. Yeah. Zara for Hetman. Come on. Push the battle button. There we go. Yeah, I'll do that in a minute, Spaz. Thanks for the reminder. Sorry. Brain derped. All right, let's see. Go over here. Mark this off the list. I liked it better when my window on OBS was working for requests, but with having to log in and out of Twitch, some things are working and some things aren't. Is there a story behind the barber pole deck color scheme on Italian ships? Hetman, there is. The Italians also had an air force. The Italian Air Force was apparently easily confused about which ships it should be bombing. And after several times of the Italian Air Force bombing Italian Navy ships, the Italian Navy took that kind of personal. And they started painting the barber poles on the bow and stern of their ships so that their own pilots would know, hey, dummy, don't drop your bombs on this one. So, there you go. All right, finally a top-tier game at Tier 7. Kind of want to play the southern flank, but the spawn I got is bad for it.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. I'm all out of gum.
Well, I mean, it's a true story, Towson. It's a true story. Honestly, one of my favorite camos in the game is this Italian permanent camo, right? This clean, kind of off-white, gray looking with the barber pole stripes on the bow. You can get that as a permanent camo for I think every heavy cruiser in the Italian line. It's gorgeous. It's such a great looking camo. It's historical and it's beautiful. I love these camos. Similar story with Navy pilots. Their roundels had a red dot in the middle. What do you mean they're roundels? What are you talking about, Valiant? When you say a roundel, you mean you're talking about the star. The star on the American on the plane had you're right, some of them had that red dot in the center of the big white star. That's true. Yeah, you're right. The one that I always heard, the story I always heard about the American pilots in the Pacific in World War II was most, if not all, Japanese carriers had the Hinomaru painted on the deck, usually up forward, right? And the dive bomber pilots would use that as an aiming point on the deck of the aircraft carrier when they pushed over to dive on a Japanese carrier. That giant red meatball, the Hinomaru up near the bow, was a target for them. They used that as a target point. I've heard it enough that I presume it's true. You know, when you hear it once or twice, you go, but when you hear it, like, when you read it in lots of different places, you just kind of start to accept that maybe all of these people who are reporting the same thing aren't idiots. Bliss versus Minsk. That's a bad engagement for... I don't like that engagement for the Minsk. He's going to get his face melted off. Hold on. Let me see if I can chip in. I got to be able to get up here and help. Bliss is turning back. Come on. Get over from his Highness Island. He's going to die before I can get there to help. Yeah, now he's not spotting anything. Hold on. Bliss is still shooting. There we go. Oh, I hit him, but I didn't hit him hard enough. Oh, we have a Durfling on the other team. Keep our eyes open for that. Speaking of him, there he is. Come on, AP shells. Come on, AP shells. Oh, I thought I had led him right. These guys are pretty ballsy. Let's turn around and crush them. That Molotov is squishy enough already. Under no circumstances should he be that far forward this quickly. Like, he's going to be dead here in seconds. Yeah, like, don't... What are you doing exactly, sir? You know, Striker, I've been reading about Midway since I was a kid, right? Since I was probably, I think the first time I read Incredible Victory, which is Walter Lord's book on the Battle of Midway, I think I was 13. I found my dad's copy of Incredible Victory in some boxes we were unloading. It's a paperback. It's only about this thick. And I thought, sure, I'll read this. And I've been fascinated with the Battle of Midway ever since. And it wasn't until probably about 2010 or so that I remember reading Partial and Tully, right? Shattered Sword. And what I love about Shattered Sword is that it... Oh, give me a break. Why can't I hit anything today? Shattered Sword does a brilliant job of kind of... I won't say rewriting the Battle of Midway, but they offer some really interesting alternate explanations for why some things in the Battle of Midway went the way they did. One of the most interesting things that I learned reading Shattered Sword was the... no, Shattered Sword is just Midway in general. It's not really from anybody's particular perspective. One of the things that I enjoyed reading and learning when I read that book was the difference in carrier doctrine. Partial and Tully make the argument, and a very valid one, I believe, that at the time of the start of World War II in the Pacific, the Kirobutai, as we think of it today, was arguably, was probably the world's first super weapon, right? The way those carriers functioned together as a group, the way the Japanese wielded them and understood their power, they could be flexed to do just catastrophic damage anywhere that was available by sea in the Pacific. They also make the valid case that even the Japanese didn't quite understand what they had, in the sense of they knew that what they had was awesome, but perhaps they didn't understand the full capabilities of it. They also spend a full chapter in the early going discussing and pointing out the radical differences in carrier doctrine between the two nations. They're the first authors I ever saw invest the time into this explanation. And one of the things that I like about it is it helps you understand the entire subsequent battle a lot better. Because so many of the Western historians that have evaluated Midway have done so from the perspective of American carrier operations. But when you start digging and you start reading and learning, you learn that the Japanese functioned and ran their carrier decks, their flight decks, very differently than the Americans did. Their operational doctrines were simply different. And that impacted how the battle played out in a variety of ways. And understanding that early, I found, helps understand some of the decisions that Nagumo, I'm getting the name wrong. No, Nagumo. Chiuchi Nagumo. That Nagumo made later on in the battle. Because that understanding helps you realize, what we think of, it was just this, that, and the other thing. Well, yes and no, right? Japanese carrier doctrine didn't work that way, as an example. And so that thought that we all take for granted is something that wouldn't have necessarily occurred to him. I want to try and kill this Derflinger while we can spot him.
Now, this is a force to be reckoned with.
Anyway, Shattered Sword is an excellent book. If you enjoy naval history, particularly the Battle of Midway, I cannot recommend it enough. It is just a stunningly good book. It's so well written. It's incredibly well researched. And what I love about it more than anything is that Partial and Tully, they come to some really interesting conclusions that a lot of other historians over the years have just kind of missed, or they've never made for whatever reason. And it really gives the book a very unique feel and perspective on things, I found. I'm only going to get some of those over the island. Not a bad shot, though.
Time to put on the beer goggles.
I really want to kill this Derflinger. I know he's up here. I know I'll have a shot on him. I know he's low. I should be able to get him. I'm about to be staring a KG-5 in the face, and I kind of don't care. Because he doesn't frighten me that much. Hetman makes a great point. One of the reasons that American perspectives on Midway have been kind of skewed over the years is that a lot of people have taken Fuchida wrote a book after the war was over and basically kind of, you know, told the war from his perspective. And a lot of American historians, a lot of Western historians, I should say, have more or less just taken the man at his word. They've just taken everything he said as, you know, true or gospel or whatever. But the reality is that Fuchida prevaricated a little bit. At no point did Partial Intelli come out and flat out say, well, the guy lied. But the reality is that he did not tell the whole truth. Let's just put it that way. And it's interesting to kind of realize that as you read through the book. Anyway, like I said, I could go on and on. I could have an entire stream talking about Shattered Sword. It is such an excellent book. It is such an insightful look at the Battle of Midway and kind of why it unfolded the way it did. I really, really enjoyed it. It's a really, really excellent book. I feel like the Pensacola was the bigger threat. We're going to try and kill him first. Yeah, see, that's why I feel like the Pensacola is the bigger threat. Oh, come on, man. 200 HP? Give me a break. I want to kill the Indrak, but I got to waste my time killing this guy.
Eat shit and die.
Alright. Derflinger should be out in moments. That's just going to leave the Indrak and the Ryujo, who we can't see, but that's fine. I'm really not super concerned about this guy. Oh no, the rockets! They do nothing!
To Jurassic Park.
Loopy, Warcos, Raptor, Erkuda. Guys, thank you for the follow. Sorry, I'm a little behind there. I got busy talking. Oh, I need to go back and watch that, Hetman. I need to go back and watch that. One of the best things that I read after we lost Hornfisher, I think it was earlier this year. Yeah, it was like back in May, right? I think it might have been, it was Partial or Tully or one. They went to the website, the condolence page, and wrote a really nice a bit about Hornfisher. What I didn't know about James Hornfisher was he started his career as a literary agent. He was not always an author. And so a lot of naval historians, their experience with him comes with him helping them get their books published, as he was an agent, you know, selling books to publishing companies and are helping get the word out. And so I think it was either Partial or Tully, I forget which one it was that posted on the page, but they were telling the story about Hornfisher helping them get Shattered Sword published for the first time, and how it very well might not have happened without his efforts. And I found that to be really poignant and really important, right? It kind of emphasizes to me just what a significant loss losing James Hornfisher is to the naval historian community, because you know, the man did so much more than just write his own books. Have a good one, Tio.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
I'm not going to bother capping. I'm just trying to get up here. I know the Ryujo's behind this island. Like, I know he is. I'm just trying to get up here and get eyes on him where I can smash him. We ain't winning. We ain't winning this game. We ain't winning this game by capping out, kids. We are going to win this game by killing this aircraft carrier. He's turning right into that Congo. I don't even think he realizes it. Can I Citadel him? Let's find out. I bet I can. I can Citadel him! Ha ha ha! But someone else is going to get the kill. There you go. Yes, Hetman. Yes. Ship of Ghosts, I have read. Brilliant book. Brilliant book. I haven't read anything by Hornfisher that I didn't enjoy. The man's writing style is so good, right? He's another one of these guys like David McCullough, who when he writes history, he makes it interesting. Ambrose had the same gift, right? Stephen Ambrose. But guys like McCullough and Ambrose and Hornfisher are they're so rare and precious, right? I think we don't necessarily appreciate them as well as we should until they're gone, right? And then we look back and we go, man, I wish that guy was still here, you know? Because their writing style is so compelling and so good at conveying like history in an impactful and living way, that it really, you really feel it. And I miss all of those guys. They're such excellent authors, and they told such critically important histories, all of them.